the unbelievable linebacker for the Crimson Tide, one of the most exciting players to watch this year in college football. Christian, thank you for joining us. I know it's a busy time with a big game coming up, as always, for the Crimson Tide. Good afternoon, and how are you, and how do you feel about the season so far?
First, I just want to say thank you for having me on here. So far I'm feeling really excited about this week. I feel like we still have a lot to prove as a team, and one of these weeks, we definitely have to do that.
You're coming off of a huge win, but you could say that almost every week with Alabama, and you turn around and you head to College Station. How does that work? This is now Tuesday. I know you're not supposed to look back. How quickly can you as a player and your teammates turn the page and start focusing on the next game?
Coach always tells us about the 24-hour rule. So, the moment you win that game, you enjoy it for 24 hours, and then you get ready for the next opponent. And that's just something we do each week, week by week. So, it's really just, like I said, that's all we do.
Well, hopefully he's not watching this, because I do want to go back a little bit. Christian, being in Tuscaloosa over the weekend, I talked to a number of people connected to that program, and they felt really confident about the Ole Miss game. And someone told me that in trying to explain the Florida game, that the crowd was a new thing for a lot of young players. It was so loud, it was so deafening. Of course, COVID last year took care of all that. Could you go back and was the crowd, your first hostile environment, really a big deal in getting through that game?
Versus Florida, it was definitely their crowd definitely had an impact on the game. It's definitely a tough place for a lot of people to play, and Coach let us know that before going into that game. And like I said, we got there, and we have a lot of young guys, and as an older guy, we try to help those guys be prepared for those moments, and we see where we were at that time, and now we know how to improve.
Christian, in terms of this defense, it was built, and you were certainly at the front of the conversation as one of the elite defenses in the country. In that game, things didn't go particularly well throughout the second half, but against Ole Miss, it was a stellar performance. That was a 42-7 game. It took Ole Miss a long time to score, one of the best offenses and one of the best quarterbacks in college football. What was the difference from week to week to week?
I think we really make an emphasis on trying to finish and play a full 60-minute game, no matter who we're playing. And, that's something that, we've been really trying to fix and work on as a defense each game. Whether that was Florida, you see Florida game, we came out second quarter and we didn't come out as strong in the second half either. And, you allow other teams to get back in the game that way. And like I said, Coach continues to emphasize that for us, and that's just becoming a focus.
I know the score does not indicate the dominance. Was he frustrated after the game because Alabama gave up two late touchdowns?
He's always going to be upset anytime we, give up any points in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. As an Alabama program, we really strive on finishing in the fourth quarter. And, that's just something we didn't do, and we have to, continue to fix.
Christian, I'm curious, because as a layperson, it just seems like the game's over, and I know just in my own mind it would be hard to continue that same intensity, but you're on the field and you know what you have to do. Do you let the scoreboard affect you in any way when you're way ahead? You're 35 points ahead. Are you still playing at the same level at that moment as you were entering the second half?
That's what we really strive on, to try to keep that same intensity we did when we came out on the first drive of the whole game. To keep that, like I said, throughout 60 minutes. And those habits really start in practice when, you start off practice, you're feeling good, and then you get towards the end, when you go on good periods, you're real tired, trying to finish. And we try to translate that on game day. And like I said, it's something we've been struggling with, and we're continuing to try to fix. And, Coach is really harping on it each week, so we'll definitely get there.
Christian Harris with us. Christian, I want to go back a little bit, because a lot of people close to you know your backstory. You grew up in Baton Rouge. You were friends with Dylan Moses and a couple of other players, and then you surprised a lot of people. It looked like you were heading out of Baton Rouge, which isn't easy to do, to go to College Station, and then you flipped it over to Alabama. What was that like, leaving a place where football is really on the same level as it is in Tuscaloosa?
Just really sitting there talking to my family and discussing what we think is best for my future. That's really all what it came down to. I feel like here, at the University of Alabama, they had the best opportunity for me to excel as a man on and off the field, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity.
I know whenever you do something like that, it upsets people, especially probably friends of yours you grew up with. You're still a young person, and that would be hard for anybody to deal with. How did you deal with those friends of yours who were LSU fans getting upset that you made a personal choice?
I couldn't really get too upset about it or let it affect me that much because, like I said, I knew I was doing what was best for me and my future. And I can't let others play a factor in that. But like I said, I just came in with one mindset, and I kept that mindset this entire time. So I just don't really focus on it.
Did you grow up an LSU fan?
I think everybody growing up in Baton Rouge, loves to watch LSU football. It's their first. For me, it was my first time watching college football, so I enjoyed it when I was little.
Well, you talk about it, enjoying it. A lot of folks are enjoying watching you play. You're a spectacular player, and I know this is a big week heading to College Station. We appreciate you making time for us. You be well and have a great rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.